Today, joining me as a replay, or shall I say, he's been a previous guest, is a good friend of mine, Gary Matheny. He is a budding star. He's a singer-songwriter, and we're going to see how his progress is going because I think he's making some headway. How's your progress been going?
Oh man, it has really been going great since I had the opportunity to sit and talk with you before.
Well,
I think it was in 2021, was it 2021? I just released my first album, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it seems like, in a way, it seems like longer than that, and in a way, it doesn't.
I know, time seems to fly.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah. It has been really going good, Dee. I'm really blessed to not have been playing out in public, but to get the views and the listen tos and the fan base that is worldwide, is global. I have really done well. Some of my music has been played probably in over 100 countries. Over 100 countries. I get emails and likes and things on my Facebook page from Sweden, Australia, Germany, just all over.
Is some of your songs played on that classic country from Chattanooga?
You know, I don't know if it is. Someone told me they thought they heard one of mine.
I thought I heard it.
But I haven't listened. These big radio conglomerates, they're very difficult to get your music on because they're owned by a big corporation and they set the actual play schedules. So it's difficult. You can't just walk in and hand somebody a CD and say, hey, would you play my music?
Like they did back in the day,
Exactly, right? Exactly. So it's just really a fight. You just about have to have a promotion agency or a booking agency or somebody like that to tout your music for you. So I've been doing all my marketing to date up until November on my own. And I'm telling you, it's difficult. It's really difficult.
You know, you watch that show where Dolly Parton would take her record, and even Elvis said try to get the DJs to play them and stuff. So that's not the way it is anymore, right?
No, it's not, and sadly to say it's not. As a matter of fact, the plays on the radio stations are not the same anymore. You've got internet radio stations that play your music that don't report to BMI and the places, and so therefore you don't get credit for the plays. Then you've got some that do report, and those are difficult to get into as well. So it's just a real struggle. And when an artist has their music played on Spotify, you don't make any money anymore. You have to play it so many times to make a dime. And it's just real difficult. I miss the days when you could go into a record store and you could thumb through the albums and look and say, oh, wow. But nowadays, people don't really see the album covers. They can't pick it up and hold it like they used to and feel like this is part of my library, you know. So I miss
remember
those
when
days.
people used to have music library.
Yes.
CD stands. Remember that? CD towers.
And now CDs are going by the wayside. They're coming out with the thumb drives and the flash drives, and they're putting all the music on that, and they're selling those, and they're really specialty them up, you know, putting your name in the pictures and all that on there, but they get real expensive. And again, I don't see people paying the kind of money for a flash drive with your album on it that you could a CD, because they're much more expensive than a CD.
Boy, it's almost like you got in this business at a very difficult time, right?
Yeah, it's like any other business. I mean, it's hard. You've really got to be dedicated and persistent and put your nose to the grindstone and not give up. And there are really days when you say, why am I doing this? I mean, it's fun. I told somebody one time, and it may have been you, that I'm going to continue to throw it against the wall. If it sticks, great. If it slides down, I'm going to continue doing it because I love doing it.
What do you get most of your, what's the, is the object to get people to buy your albums or get a more national known? What would you say?
It's a combination of a lot of things. When I first started writing, my whole idea was to write and hopefully an artist would pick it up, record it, I could get the writer royalties, and it could become a hit that way. But nowadays, these writers, they have not the writers necessarily, but in Nashville and places, they have a writer's mill, they call them. They just got little cubicles and people are just constantly writing and throwing things out, hoping that something will stick. And of course, at that point in time, the publishers, they get all the credit for it. They don't have to share any of the royalties with anybody. So someone like me, they would have to share royalties with. And so they kind of stay away from that unless a artist manager or promotions manager or somebody hears a song and says, hey, this would be a really good song for you. It's something you've been looking for. So my idea was to really start doing that. Now I've gotten into it and I'm doing more recording on my own. And I'm really wanting to sell albums if I can, but it's also to get well known as on the same token. And of course, with social media, that's easier today than it used to be, believe me.
So in other words, instead of, you were working to get people to like your, to maybe buy your song for an artist to sing, and you're saying, well, if that's not going to work, I just become the singer?
Right. Well, I just go around the corner, and hopefully that somebody will hear it, and they'll still want to buy it and record it. I mean, you know, we've had groups that have bought the Beatles records and redone them. Gordon Lightfoot. He has really had more people record his music than anybody.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I wonder why him.
He's just such a great ballad singer, and he tells such a wonderful story. I saw him back in 2008 in Macon, Georgia. And I thought, the man's not going to make it off the stage. He's so old and fragile looking. He's got hair down to here, and but he played the entire 2 hours. And so I thought, well, that's pretty much it. No, I saw him 2 years ago down in Chattanooga, and he looked older than he was then, but he was still up playing and joking and carrying on, so he's still going.
What was his big song?
Songs? Rainy Day People. He wrote If You Could Read My Mind. He wrote... oh, heck, there's...
How did If You Could Read My Mind, you take away the biggest part of me? Is that how it goes?
No, if you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell, just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sells. It was just a heck of a song, and it's been recorded by other artists.
Well, about what year did he?
70, 71? Somewhere around in there.
That was sort of the melancholy era, right?
Yeah, that was like not the hippie era necessarily, but it was right after the hippie era where people were listening to more laid-back, ballady type music.
Yeah. Before Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
No, about the same time. About the same time, I would think. Crosby, Stills, and Nash came in the 60s because they were at Woodstock. The late 60s, and they kind of bled on into the 70s. So it was right in that same time frame.
But they never wrote really good till they had that, like 74, when there was more.
Right. Crosby, Stills, Nash was kind of a strange group. You know, they were.
No, I'm not thinking of Crosby. I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of. I always hate when I can't remember stuff like that. Not Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I can't think. I was trying to think of this yesterday with somebody. I can't. John Ford Coley.
Mm-hmm. And John Ford Coley and what was his partner's name? There was Seals and Croft was in there too. Now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They were partners. That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah, Seals and Croft was a very, very good group, and they were one of the better groups.
But one of them went with John Ford Coley, I think.
Oh,
that was a spin-off of the. But that sort of did away with the ballad music. I think.
They went more into the harmonies, the 3 and 4 part harmonies. Crosby, Stills, Nash was really good. Then they added Neil Young, and of course I love Neil Young's music. He's Canadian, and he has just really fabulous stories. You know, Harvest Moon, Old Man. Some of those songs, they're just really good and well done. He did a concert, and it's probably the best one I've ever seen in my life as far as the ending. He was on there with several other stars, and the very last song he did, it showed him coming on stage at the Ryman. He sat down in a chair, he opened up his guitar case and pulled his guitar out. He played and sang. When he got through, he put his guitar back in the case, he buckled it, stood up, looked out into the audience. There was no one there. He'd been playing to an empty room, turned around and walked off stage, and I thought, oh, that's awesome. That's so good. But he's just that kind of guy.
Boy, music is something else, isn't it?
It is. It's great. It really is. I love it. I do. I've loved it since I was a kid.
What music would yours fit in?
You know, I have questioned that same thing. I've talked with my producer, other people. A lot of my music will fit probably into a category called trop rock. Are you familiar with trop rock?
Not at all.
Trop rock is that era between the 70s, 75, where, you know, you got Air Supply, REO Speedwagon, you've got Seals and Croft, you've got all those guys that sang the mellow music about love and things of that nature. But that type of a beat is I'll fit into. Now, I do have country and some country rock, but a lot of my music fits more into that. Actually, I've had some of my music cross genre, from pop into country rock, and so in traditional country. So it kind of crosses over. And that's really my goal. I don't want to be labeled a country writer, a country singer. I don't want to be labeled a pop. I want to kind of be able to write anything.
Are you familiar with Kane Brown?
Yes, I am.
He has really took off,
Yes.
hasn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Nashville. You got to play what Nashville wants. And if you don't, they're not gonna listen to you. And right now, Nashville wants the Kane Brown, the Jason Aldeans, the Luke Perrys, the Luke Bryans, and that sound. I think eventually it's going to turn. It's going to go back to more type of sounds that the indie songwriters like myself are doing, because it's like everything else. It's a revolution. Everything turns and revolves. What was yesterday will send me back to today. You know, look at your old ties that was back in the 40s. They came back in the 60s and the 70s, and they went away, and now you begin to see some things change again. Your wide lapels. Everything makes a full circle again, and so I think your music's going to make a circle again too.
Would you say the one I see the most is Solo Dos Gatos?
Yeah.
Now that one, it was one of my favorites, and was that a big production expense? I mean, who's the guy that you're picking up in the video?
What do you mean?
In the beginning, where you pick him up at the...
That's my brother.
Oh, is that
That's
your
my brother?
I didn't realize.
He's the other cat. Solo Dos Gatos means just two cats.
Just two cats, yeah.
And there's really a funny story how that song came about. My brother, his grandson, got married, and they had a reception or something, not bachelor party, but a reception or something at a bar called Dos Gatos down in St. Augustine, Florida. And so we went in, and when we walked into the ground floor where the bar was, there was this huge mural behind the bar of this pirate lady, and she's laid back with her hat on her boot and her gun on her. I mean, just a beautiful picture to me. I loved it. And it got a cat sitting down there. And everybody says, "Well, where's the other cat?" I said, "Well, it's her. There's two cats."
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so I love the picture. And so we went upstairs, and the name Dos Gatos just kind of got me. So about 2 months later, I started thinking about it, and I thought, Dos Gatos, My brother and I used to do a lot of stuff. It's just crazy. And so I started writing a song about just two cats, about me and my brother and things that we did. And it came up, you know, sitting in an island bar, drinking tequila all day, you know, flirting with the waitresses. And it's just two old guys that nobody's paying no attention to. They just, if they do pay attention, it's just to appease them because they know they're harmless. And that's how the song got started. And I just wrote it for a fun thing. And man, it just went wild. It's been played close to 100,000 times around the world.
I picture it as you're a guy and you're just kind of wanting to take the day off, impromptu. You pick up your buddy, and you go and you're just having a kind of a fun time, just spending time not working, and it's just become a good day. Well, is that the premise?
Not really. That's a good way to look at it, but really it was just about two old guys that are retired, living in the Caribbean, got nothing better to do but just sit in the bar all day drinking and flirting with girls.
But you could take that to anything.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, you could say, I'm not working today, and you can go to Grumpies, or not Grumpies, but
Pokies,
Pokies,
yeah. You could do most anything, but it's just really just two cats, just about two old cats old guys, cool cats that's just hanging out and having fun. Now, I've got another one I've written called Smoking Cheap Cigars, and I'm waiting to get it done. It's already written and everything. It's talking about the same thing, two old guys sitting out in a bar drinking beer, smoking cheap cigars, you know.
Seems like I've heard that one.
Yeah, you may have.
It wasn't on your other...
No, I haven't recorded it yet. It's just something I've been working on. And we just recorded another one, kind of that same island flow, called Muchas Margaritas. As a matter of fact, it should be mastered and ready to go by the end of next week.
So it'd be much... So, let's play Solo Dos Gatos. You got it, Gwen? That's what you did.
That's Billy Jack.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, I've heard it said. Open my eyes, rolled out of bed, slipped on some cut-off jeans, sandals and a tank top shirt. Going to the tiki bar, cause the bar stool's where I work. Blando con la señorita, tight shorts and long tan legs. She smiles, walks away, cause she likes to see me beg. Pour another shot of tequila, slice of lime. Not gonna go nowhere, cause I'm on island time. We're sitting in an island bar, doing shots of tequila, putting tips in a mason jar, listening to a dude play guitar, singing Buffett, Merlin Cash. Solo Dos Gatos, we're sucking limes and getting smashed. Palm trees, cool breeze, walking on the beach at night. Shrimp boiling in the pot, island ladies in the moonlight. It's always 5 o'clock down on Santiago Bay. Me and my buddies sit and drink tequila all day. We're sitting in an island bar, doing shots of tequila, putting tips in a mason jar, listening to a dude play guitar, singing Buffett, Merlin Cash. Solo Dos Gatos, we're sucking limes and getting smashed. Another shot of tequila, I'm gonna get smashed.
First Street Sound Productions.
Yeah, that's my production company.
That was really well done. I mean, I like that song. I like the video. It's catchy.
Yeah, well, we're doing a worldwide radio release with big records out of Canada, middle of this month. So
How do you get the videos out to where more people will watch them? I mean, it's got to be a money thing where you have to.
It can be. It can, like anything else. I mean, you know, you flash enough greens and you can get anything you want. I have been just putting it on Facebook and for my followers to do, and they share it, and it's amazing. I know they get, and I tell them all the time, hey, listen, I know I share a lot of stuff, and I appreciate it. And they say, no, 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 we love to see it. So there's a lot of folks who love that song. And again, it started off as a fun song, and it is just really, it's a signature. It's a signature song.
Let me tell you about Capstar Bank. They're located in Nashville, Hendersonville, Gallatin, Athens, Madisonville, Sweetwater, Etowah, and in Cleveland at 950 25th Street and 3855 North Ocoee Street. I've used them. I like them. Give them a try. They're no problem. Is Corey making noise when? Well, so you would think that's your signature song?
I would think so.
Now,
Yeah.
the Two Cigars is where I got the.
May have been.
That's where my brain was remembering that, because I remember that in the video.
Well, I'm trying to get a sponsorship from a tequila company, and matter of fact, Big Records asked me to make a promo commercial for them, and so I'm in the process of working that up with some people here in town to see if I can make a 30-second promo commercial, and we're going to utilize that. In the meantime, my brother knows the guy who owns a big cigar company down in Miami, and so I said, well, we'll just use cigars and the tequila, and good friends sitting around drinking on Saturday afternoon, and do it for both and send it to both of them. Maybe they'll both utilize it. And so that's the kind of things that you have to do to get around. You know, I'm not a multimillionaire, so everything I do is by the seat of my britches. Yeah. And so I just have to be very frugal with what I do, but get it out to the best place possible.
Is it like working a puzzle to you?
Yes, very much so. And you'd be surprised. Once the pieces start fitting, then you'll get a corner. And that corner gives you a lot of encouragement, because then you'll pick up another piece. Next thing you know, you got another piece of the puzzle again. It just takes a lot of time. Yeah.
If you'd known it was this hard, would you have even started?
I'm not so sure. If I had known that it was going to take up my time like it does, I might not. But there again, I'm doing my marketing myself up until I signed with Big Records in November, and they're starting to do my marketing for me. They've got a lot of ins and outs. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I stay in front of my computer all the time, sending out music. I mean, I brought this in. This is since 2020, just accomplishments that.
Well, I knew of one award you had won. Yeah. What's the biggest one on there?
So far, the biggest one was this past year. I was the Songwriter of the Year with International Singer-Songwriters, which is over 20,000 members worldwide. And I was really amazed to get it. I never thought I would win the songwriter. That's like the holy grail of the association. And I thought, well, maybe I'll get Rising Star or something like an emerging artist. And when they called, they have 3 levels: silver, platinum, I think, and gold. And when they called silver and I didn't get it, I told my wife, I said, well, there it goes. I'm done. So when they hit gold and they called me, I thought, how did I do that?
And was this a specific song or just in
general?
No,
it was in general, but they utilized Solo Dos Gatos as the catalyst for it, because it'd gotten so much play and things. Yeah. So really pleased.
And how do they know how much play it got?
They follow Facebook, because they're part of Facebook, and the people tag you and things on Facebook, and they watch. And so whenever I post something, they see it. And the way it works is this year I can't be in the running for anything, but I'm a presenter for the next 2 years. And what I'll do is I'll be doing the same thing they would with me. You're nominated, then you've got a certain amount of time that your fan base votes on you every day. And then once that's over with, then the finalists are looked at by your peers, other singer-songwriters that have won awards and things, and then they do the judging. So it's not just a fan base award. It's done by a lot of different avenues.
You about have to have a video with your song nowadays.
Yeah,
you just couldn't do it without a video, could you?
No, you can, but it's not as easy. People like to see a picture, and this one is a good one. It shows a picture, and it shows some fun and frolic, and it was just a fun thing to do.
Who's doing the camera work?
I've got a guy out of Lee, out of Jack's Video in Florida. I called him. I looked at some of his videos, and I called him and worked up an agreement with him, and we went down and did it in half a day. half a day. And it's funny, Singleton Seafood Shack is in Mayport, and it's been around for, oh gosh, 50-something years. And so I was looking for a lack of a better word, I don't mean this derogatory, but a dive, a biker's bar type thing to do this in, because the basis of the video and the song is two old guys that are retired, so they don't have a lot of money to go into a lot of luxury bars and drink. So I was looking for one, and I saw this one. So I took off down there to look at it and talk to the owner to see if I could do my video there, and there was a sign closed. And I thought, oh my Lord, I've done looked all over. So I went up and got the number, and I called the guy, and I said, look, are you closed? I said, are you totally? He says, no. He said, we're doing some remodeling. He said, we'll be ready to. And so I told him what I wanted to do, and he says, it's amazing you want to do that. I'd be glad for you to do it. He said, we had a movie shot here. He said, several years ago, he said they pulled in the buses, and for 2 weeks they sat in my parking lot and consumed my whole restaurant. Yeah. He said, before that, I had the guy with drive-ins, diners, and dives. He came in and did a big article on me, or a big program on me. He said, now, a music video. He said, heck yeah, man, come on down and do it. So we got together and went down, and it was a perfect spot.
Well, you were not the only one that had found that then.
That's right. That's exactly
right. So that had
right.
to tell you it's on the right track.
Exactly, yeah. And then Dean and Tabitha Singleton were so good, and Mike, the guy, his right-hand man, they were so great while we were there. They made sure all the staff was, there for us for whatever we needed, and it was just it was a great environment, a great experience, and I'm anxious to go back down there and do a video in there again, either with Smoking Cheap Cigars or Mucho Margaritas, if we can do one. So I'm excited about that.
Do you get many views from YouTube, or is it mostly Facebook?
Facebook. We were talking about that earlier. I don't know why people won't subscribe to your YouTube channel. It's free. It doesn't cost them anything. And every subscription I get, every time somebody subscribes, it pushes me closer to getting my music out further. If we could just get people to go on and click that little button that says subscribe, I mean, that's all they got to do.
Well, I've got the same situation here. If the people that watched it, if people that watched it would subscribe on YouTube, it would really help.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure the same with you. And it's free. It's not like it costs 4 cents. It's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's absolutely free. I mean, you can click on it. If you don't ever go back to the channel again, no big deal.
Just click
on it.
But
just click on it and just show that you've been there. And that not only boosts the website to other people or to other places, but it also gives you a boost because, people are actually looking at it.
Yeah, and it sends it, the more likes or subscribes you get. Now, Facebook, I get a lot of views on Facebook.
Oh, I do too.
That's where most of mine is. But, you wonder about the longevity of Facebook a little bit, or...
Well, I don't know what you call it, the algorithms, I think it is. They've got where they put such a hold on those that I'm not seeing people that I used to see all the time. I'm seeing the same people over and over, and then I'll go on their page and I'll look, and they just posted something 20 minutes ago, but I'm not seeing it anymore because the algorithms have slowed down how many people you can actually post and you can see on your pages. And I don't understand why that is, because they're getting money off of advertisement, and every time they throw something up on my page and somebody sees it, there's a possibility of them making money. So I don't understand why they don't just let anybody and everybody post and you see it.
I don't either.
So
it's a mystery to me, and I don't know if anybody knows.
I don't either. I think it's just something they keep secret and held. Now, I do have my Instagram page tied to my Facebook page so that when I post something, it goes to Instagram too.
But I think those are maybe all the same people.
I think they are. Kind of
but
like...
to get on YouTube, so many people don't watch stuff on YouTube. I think it's sort of an age thing.
But you know what? YouTube has got some really great stuff on it. My son, he'll tell me, he'll say, hey, Dad, did you see so-and-so? I said, no, where'd you see that? He said, YouTube. I'll go on YouTube, and what you do, if you look at like a 30-minute video on YouTube about Ireland or India or whatever, then it'll suggest another one.
Yeah.
So it just goes right down the line. So I'm thinking, if people were to check out YouTube more, the entertainment factor is so great there. You Google something or search for something, and it brings up all these things for you to look at.
Yeah, I don't know how you get pushed up further in YouTube. I wish there's probably So, in other words, they could make you a star by pushing a
Yeah.
button if you knew the button to push.
You got to boost. You got to pay money to boost your post
On
and
YouTube?
yeah, it's all the same. It's like Facebook. You got to pay, and you boost the video, and then it goes out further to more people and more people and more people. But it's a money thing again. They want money and they want ads.
Well, life ain't fair, is it?
It's all about the money, man. I tell you, it's not to help people anymore. And you know, I've had people call me and say, hey, you write music or you write this. How do you do this? And I try to help best I can. But there's so many times that I'll go to somebody and I'll just get kind of fluffed off, because they're already past the point of where I was and they're somewhere else. And it's discouraging. But I hope, which I don't think it'll ever happen, but I hope if anything ever happens and I do get boosted to another level or two up, that I don't forget where I came from and I can still be there to help. I had a guy call me 2 years ago, last year, 2 years ago, and he said, hey, I've been watching you on Facebook. He was from Middle Georgia, Don Johnson. He says, and I see that you're doing real good with your writing. He said, I'll write some too. So we ought to get together and do a co-write. So okay, so we got together, and it took about a year and a half, but Muchos Margaritas is a product of that. He helped write that with me, or I helped write that with him, however you want to look at it, and we recorded it. I recorded it about a month ago, and this should be out in this week, the mastered copy on it.
Not a video, just
No,
the
this
music.
is just the audio,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping it's going to be one of my next videos. And so if it is, we're going to head back down to Singleton's and Mayport and see if we can't do something there with it.
Have you seen that guy on the internet that races marbles? Yeah, he puts marbles on tracks and races them, and does the like NASCAR number, the orange in the red.
Oh, really?
It's really kind of interesting, but something like that can go viral, whereas a guy can spend 2 years researching caves and can't get it off the ground.
Can't go. There's a guy down in Florida that does a video, crazy video. He does some crazy stunts and things. I can't remember what they call him, but he's got a YouTube channel, and he is getting hit after hit after hit on it. And it's just wacky stuff. I guess so. If I was to do some wacky, crazy stuff, I'd get it too. I don't know.
It's becoming like, you say, what makes a star? It's becoming you don't know what it is.
I guess it might be the luck of the Irish. I don't know. It could be the right place at the right time. But again, I really believe in my heart, if you got the money to get hooked up with the right publisher, the right promotion agency, the right booking agency, then they take the ball and run with it, and that's where it comes out. It's all again about the cash and who you know, and you take Chris Christopherson. He was I think he was a warrant officer in the Army or something, and he wanted to sing, and he was an excellent songwriter, but he couldn't sing.
He really couldn't
he
sing.
never could sing. But he made the statement. He said, "I camped out in Johnny Cash's backyard." He said, "I'm talking about literally camped out in his backyard." He said, "I'm going to Nashville." He said, "I quit the Army and went to Nashville, and I want to be a star." And he camped out, and next thing you know, Johnny Cash boosted him up to somebody else, and the next thing, he was part of the team.
He did do that.
He did, yeah. And he was an excellent songwriter. He wrote me and Bobby McGee, and Janis Joplin did that one, and I don't know who else did it, but it was just a...
Sunday Morning Coming Down. Did he write that,
Yes,
or he just
did.
sing it?
No, he wrote that one, yeah, and that was probably one of his better ones. It doesn't get as much play power.
That's one of the best performances I've ever seen, when he does it with the guitar and no other instruments. Just
Yeah, it's funny you say that. The guy that wrote Brandy, Looking Glass.
Yeah, let's see.
Elliot.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube he did, and he's sitting in a room, and he's got his guitar, and he's telling people, he says, "Hey, I'm going to sing you a song that I wrote that was a huge hit." He said, "But the way I'm going to play it today is not the way it was recorded." He started playing Brandy just on the guitar, and I thought, man, that is so cool.
Was it better than...
Well, no, it wasn't better because you had all the backtracking and things, but the thing is, you got to hear the way it was originally done.
Was it slower or faster?
About the same, but it's just him playing. And so...
So did he sing the song, or he was a singer too?
Elliot Lurie, yeah. So
Looking Glass. Well, that's an odd name, isn't it?
it
Looking
was,
Glass.
yeah. But that's what catches your eye, like Dr. Hook in the medicine
Yeah.
show. You know, Dr. Hook. I love Dr. Hook. So, but it's just, you know, it's all about how you present yourself. And
Well, it's a good song. Was that
yeah,
Brandy?
yeah, Brandy. Yeah.
Can you sing it?
I have. I don't do it near as good as Elliot Lurie, believe me, I don't. But I have sung it. Matter of fact, I played down at
She
Singleton's.
had a locket.
Yeah.
But how does it go?
That
She had
bore
a
the
locket.
name of the man that Brandy loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. She came from he came far away, bringing gifts from
Yeah.
far away, but he made it clear that he
From
couldn't
far- yeah,
stay because
right.
Ocean was his home. Yeah, that was a great
Well, it
song.
was a great song.
They
Wasn't it?
said that he did 2 songs, and they said that if somehow or another, I think I read, and I believe I got this right, he and one of the other guys in the band, he was doing the writing, and another guy started writing too, and his writing was such a different style than Elliot's, and that when the promoters and things said that if they had stuck with Elliot's writing, they could have gone further, but when they went to the other guy's writings, it just was not the style, it just did not make the cut that Elliot Lurie's writings did. So, you know.
Now you can listen to that Brandy song, and you have to hear it a lot of times, and then you really start liking it. It's not it's not one of those songs that you like it all of a sudden.
No, I think it's
like
because
it grows on you or something.
I think it's because it's more of a monotone sound. You know, it's not like the Beach Boys where they harmonized in things. I think it's more of a monotone sound.
Well, but when he says Brandy, that's not monotone. He really kicks it up a notch.
Yeah. So, but these old rockers, they kind of get me. You'll look at them today, and their hair is short. They're not the guys they looked at. And I'm thinking, oh man, I liked it better when you had the long hair and you looked the part that you was back then. You know, it's almost disappointing. Yeah, it's almost disappointing. Yeah. So I wish it all stayed that way.
Now, what about some songs I like because of the video? Mm-hmm. Some songs I like because of the beat. Mm-hmm. Some I like the lyrics. You know, it's not all just one thing.
No, it's a combination of all of it. It's all of it. The video actually, you know, people like to see a story. Like I said earlier, they like to see something they can, you know, if I'm watching, I used to love Don Kirshner's rock concert. Do you remember that? That was back in the early 70s, late 60s or 70s, and it was the first videos. What they would do, they had a rock concert, and they would play at night, and they would do videos and things. And I love to watch those videos. I have always loved to watch videos. And so, to me, when I can see the song, hear the song, and watch a video, it resonates more because you're sitting there trying to figure out what the song meaning is, and 9 times out of 10, when you see the video, you catch a glimpse of what the meaning is. And so it's just, it's more advantageous to listen to and watch. But songs take you back. I can hear songs and think about where I was when I heard that song.
That's what makes some songs for some people.
Yeah, I mean, and there's special times, and then there's some songs that it's just songs, you know.
But that's not going to make a song go nationwide.
No.
It's only going to be. So I don't know what necessarily.
It's got to have some beat. It's got to have the right beat. It's got to have the right words, and it's got to have the right recording. You don't want to listen to something that's scratchy and doesn't have a good recording. But
now sometimes when it doesn't have necessarily a good recording, it can even be good too, like the Sopranos theme song.
Yeah, well, that's
First
true.
thing it goes. It's like a record that's skipping.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it would be. It's just not how you feel when you hear it. I mean, I can hear a song and I can tell you within the first 30 to 45 seconds when I'm going to like the song.
I can too.
I can do
But
that.
I can't tell you necessarily if everybody else is going to like it.
That's right. Everybody's got their own taste and things, and so
I can usually pick a hit pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like that Selena Gomez song, Out Now, Calm Down. That's probably be the song of the year.
Yeah.
It's only been out 2 weeks, and I can about put money on it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. You know,
Maybe,
it's got.
I don't know.
And if you feel that way, chances are the majority of the people feel that way because I mean we're all humans and ordinary people. We hear things, we like things, and the beats. there's some songs that people say, hey, I really like that song. No, I don't. I mean, it just doesn't resonate with me.
I believe I've heard somebody say that the most liked songs, as a rule, are the ones that are in eight times beat.
Probably is. It's not real fast, not real slow, but it's just right in the middle.
It's right in the middle, and it's Fleetwood Mac had a lot of 8 times beat.
Fleetwood Mac was awesome. Yeah, they had, and I was so sad to hear the passing of, I can't remember her name now, but I know the lady that played the organ. She was part of Mick Fleetwood's was started, not for Mick Fleetwood. Oh my goodness,
Our minds are gone.
Yeah, right over my head. But anyway, I hate to see her die because I thought Christine McVie, I thought she was the best of Fleetwood Mac. Her and Mick Fleetwood, he played drums. But they had such good songs and good writings. You know, it just told a great story, but it was in such a beat that they could, you know, people just liked it.
I wonder if artificial intelligence isn't going to come up with good songs. Because, you know, this chat, what's that called? Chat what? AGT. You can put a little few sentences in and tell it to write a story, and it'll write a story. And I just wonder if they'll come up with, because if they ever do that, those AI will have they'll have the rights, whoever's got the robot.
You know, I read something recently, I think it was an ad on Facebook that said that there's a company now that you can go out and I can start singing some words and it will create the backtracking and everything.
That's what I'm saying.
But you own that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It said in the ad, said that, you know, you own all of it, if that's the case, because you bought the package. And it's just like on GarageBand. GarageBand has all of these different beats and drums and saxophones and guitars, and you can go in and take pieces of it and make your music. Well, when it's all said and done, even though GarageBand created synthesized type, you own that because you bought the package and you put it together and you composed it, so it's yours.
On the courthouse square at 30 2nd Street is the law firm of Logan Thompson Law. Since 1965, they have served the legal needs for the good citizens of Cleveland Bradley County. If you've got a problem, they're no problem. Give them a call.
You know, that's what Milli Vanilli got put out for doing, wasn't it?
Well, they were doing lip syncing.
They were lip syncing,
and it wasn't really their voice.
Yeah, but it was somebody's voice.
Yeah, they fooled
How would you
everybody.
like to be the guy that say, "Hey, we like your singing, but we don't like your looks"?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they were pretty.
Yeah, but they were the ones that were lip syncing, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Be the guy that booked them, thinking it was really. Well, you know, Jan and Dean. You remember them? Back in the day, they when the Beach Boys back in the '60s.
Yeah.
You know, one of them, I think it was Jan, had a car accident, and it paralyzed him or something, and so they put him back on stage, and they had him lip syncing with the other guy. And when they found out about it, they just that ruined them. That ruined their career totally. So
I liked Milli Vanilli. I wouldn't care what they looked like.
well, the music sounded good.
Music was good. Yeah,
the music sounded good.
Yeah.
Whoever was doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's you know before all this was broke and broke music, and before that, my understanding was they would just chant.
Really?
Yeah, it was just chanting, not singing.
Yeah, I didn't listen to them that much. I listened to maybe one of their songs.
But I mean, that was the form of music prior to broke was chanting.
Oh yeah.
Like harps and chanting.
Mm-hmm.
So things evolve.
Well, that's what I said a while ago. You know, the music kind of makes a full circle, and it takes a while for it to get back around, but it does.
So are you members of these? Which
No, what this is these are just accomplishments I've actually accomplished since with my music since 2020.
Which is a lot. This is a lot in a short time.
Yeah, Solo Dos Gatos, just to kind of let you know, it has charted #1 on 5 different internet radio stations. Three of them are Berkshire Media Group stations that go around the world, and it's been played over almost 100,000 times with those guys. It charted #1 with Nashville Radio Promotions, and it charted #1 with a place called Georgia Songbirds. So that's 5 times it's charted #1. Juliet's charted #1 one time so far. Plays on Juliet's probably 40,000 plays so far. Back Where I Belong is won the Best Outlaw Song with World Songwriters Association, World Songwriter Awards out of Australia. I've hit top 10 finalists with several of my songs, and again, they're out there, but I'm not seeing anybody looking at them yet to pick them up to do so.
Well, maybe you don't. Let's play Juliet. It was rated the #1 song for under a category, wasn't it? 1 month or something?
Right. It was #1 under the Americana category with Academia, and it has charted #1 with one of their stations also.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I hadn't had that.
And right now it's running #45 on Cashbox Indie Country. So it's moving up the line too. No, I'm sorry, Juliet. I'm sorry, I'm telling you wrong. Juliet was not on Cashbox. It's Not Everyone Is Blessed, one of the ones that you were doing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I like that one. Play Juliet.
Seems like only yesterday we were playing in the falls, climbing rocks and catching everything that crawls, hanging out and wasting time, not a care at all. We held hands in the summer sun, puppy love and all. Puppy love and all. Not a day goes by I don't think of you. Everywhere I turn there are signs of you. Doesn't matter whether rain or shine, life is not the same. You walked out of my life just as fast as you came. One feeling comes over me every time I look and see the water coming off those false Juliet. Young hearts in harmony playing out our fantasies, wanting life to never come to an end. For you, Juliet, for my Juliet. There are songs written about walking in the rain, splashing in those puddles of mud. It still doesn't explain the tears I shed and the pain my heart feels. I pray to God that He will let heart healed. One feeling comes over me every time I look and see the water coming off those false Juliet. Young hearts in harmony, playing out our fantasies, wanting life to never come to an end. For you, Juliet. Life has changed forever, Juliet. I still love you, Juliet.
So that was from the same album as Solo Dos Gatos, right?
Right, that is one of the songs on the
I still
album.
love you,
That's the first video I
Juliet.
actually shot with me in it live.
I see.
So, but that video, a friend of mine, John Mullis, he owns JOM3 Gallery. He did all those drone shots, and the shots at the old Coe were done by my wife. And so we put them all, had a guy down in Florida put them all together, and he dubbed in the voice on that just beautifully. But that town is the same town that Fried Green Tomatoes, the movie, was filmed in.
Is that right?
Yeah, Juliet,
Did they-
Georgia.
That was a good movie, wasn't it?
That was a good
That was
movie.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies.
Yeah, yeah. And the Falls, the song is about two kids, and they were, they grew up together, best friends, and of course, two young kids, they stayed together and best friends. They loved each other. So when she left and moved away, the guy's still pining for her, and so he goes back to the Falls where they used to play and do things, and he sees her there. But it was a really cool storyline behind it.
Now the song "Then She'd Know." What do you see of that as
Oh wow!
the story behind that?
I see a guy that sees this woman in the distance, and she's walking by a lake in the fall, and she's got this long white linen dress on, and he loves her because she's so beautiful, but she doesn't even know he's there. I mean, she wouldn't. He doesn't make himself obvious to her. She doesn't even know he exists. But from a distance, he's in love with her, and he just watches her by this lake, and only if she knew. Then she'd know,
Then she'd know.
Yeah.
Now it won a jazz award, right?
Right. It was a finalist in the World Songwriting Awards out of Australia in the jazz category. And I did that for a reason. I could not determine what genre it fit into. It wasn't country, it wasn't pop, and it wasn't Americana. So
I didn't see it as jazz necessarily
so
myself.
I got to listen to some of the other songs in the category for jazz, and they sounded similar. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot and see what it does. And sure enough, it was a top 10 finalist. And so I've got a couple more songs that I'm going to enter in just to see how they do. It would fit more into the trop rock, like I told you earlier. Trop rock. And no, not yacht rock. Excuse me, yacht rock.
Yacht rock.
Yacht rock,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
trop
yeah,
rock. I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
sorry. Solo Dos Gatos would be a trop rock because it's tropical. It's yacht rock.
Yeah.
It's the one where it's love stories, easy listening, not jazz, not pop.
Almost 79 and a half to 81 or something like.
Yeah.
I like that music.
Yeah, I do too. Matter of fact, there's a channel on Sirius Radio that's called Yacht Rock. And is it Sirius or is it? I think it's Sirius. It may be
I
Pandora.
went to an event that had the Monsters of Yacht.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they get that name. What does yacht mean?
Well, yacht is a boat. I mean, it's a boat, and they said
why?
and they say that the reason they named it yacht rock was it's the kind of music you'd be sitting on the boat drinking a beer in the sunshine, sunglasses on, listening to music, because easy listen music. So it's yacht rock. But I don't know. But it's got
It
some
almost
good.
doesn't fit into a category.
No, and it doesn't because it doesn't fit pop. It doesn't fit hard rock. It's not a metal. It's not country. It's not southern rock. So
I don't
where's
even
it
like
go?
categorizing music. Really
I
do.
don't either. I don't
mean, it's
either.
just
I like
fast
this
or
music.
slow.
Yeah.
Let it be that, fast or slow.
People that listen to music, I mean, if you start categorizing, I like to listen to some music fast. If I'm in a mood and I hear a good song that's a slow song that takes me back and makes me think, you know, if you stay in that mood too long, you get depressed. So next thing you know, boom, here comes a fast rock song, and you just kind of get out of it and you go to that one, you know. So music is there to make you feel. That's what it is. It's to make you feel.
Feel what? Just feel?
Feel your feelings, just to help you find your feelings. Just like I said earlier, I know songs I can hear and I can tell you where I was, what I was doing, basically the year and everything. It's just things you remember. There's a song back in the skating days. You remember the skating days?
Do I? I was on the speed team.
Yeah, well, we'd go and Friday night and you'd rent skate and the guys would fly around the ring and slide against the wall. And the girls were skating two and two and the big old pom poms. Yeah. Well, they'd play all this music. There was a guy that wrote a song. It was, "If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, get yourself an ugly wife." You remember that song?
I remember that song. How does it go?
If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, get yourself an ugly wife.
Yeah.
From my personal point of view,
it was a Weird Al Yankovic type song in a way.
And so I can remember that song, and I can remember exactly where I was in that skating rink when I heard it the first time, and I was about 12 years old. Yeah. So music can take you back to places that you forgot. You forgot.
But you know, you said something interesting. I've never thought of it that way. I've never heard anybody say it that way. But music helps you find your feelings, not mine, not his, not your mine.
That's right. That's right.
So whatever you're feeling, it sort of helps bring it to the top or something.
Yeah, it just brings it out. It makes you think. It gives you a sense of nostalgia.
Say you're in a good mood. You listen to music, it'll uplift the mood.
Yes.
Or if you're down and out, it can help you down and out.
It can either help you sustain yourself when you're down and out. I don't think it helps you. I don't think it makes you dive deeper into a depressed state. I think it helps you sustain. Sometimes feeling like that is not bad.
No,
It's not bad, as long as you don't stay that way. But I can remember when I was younger, and even now, you know, especially on a nice warm spring day, and you hear some good pippy music, man, it just makes you feel good. It just makes you feel good.
Guy used to cut my hair, Raymond Woods. He was one of the smartest people I'd ever known. And whenever I was in there, he'd play Jackson Brown.
I love Jackson Brown.
He'd play Jackson Brown, or he'd play some. He liked what he referred to as, he'd play Jackson Brown, Van Morrison, or what he referred to as gypsy music.
Yes.
Which was and I had never really heard gypsy music till him, and I can't even remember the artist, but I've still got it, and I recognize it now, but I don't know who it was that was singing that.
I don't know, but you know who, I've never heard it described as gypsy music, but you know who was the best one singing that?
Who?
Boz Scaggs.
Well, he was a Bob Scaggs guy.
Boz
for
Scaggs.
Sure.
I mean, if you're gonna describe it as gypsy music, Boz Scaggs was the guy.
Well, that's what he described it as.
And I just learned something about Boz Scaggs. He lived in Macon, Georgia during the reign of Dwayne Allman. And I don't know, he left Macon, I think moved out to California, but he actually lived in Macon for a while, and he wrote a song called Georgia. And I'd remembered it, but I never really listened to it much till lately. And I play Boz Scaggs radio on my Pandora all the time because I love his music. And it's about a guy who's in prison talking about a young girl. And if you go back and read about it, some say that he was getting her away. He kidnapped her away from her dad because he was molesting her or something. And they come picked him up and put him in prison. It's just a great song. Yeah, gypsy music, that's a great way to phrase that type of music. Jackson Brown and Van Morrison and Silver Bullet Band. Oh man, those guys are so good too. Yeah, so. I mean,
music's hard to beat.
It is, without a doubt.
I don't listen to it enough. I've been watching too much YouTube and documentaries, and I can't listen to it while I'm at working because my phone's going off so much. I just
Yeah, what I used to when I was actually had a real job and was working, and I'd work in my office on Fridays, I would turn it on smooth jazz because it kind of seemed to mellow me out and kind of help stress. I wouldn't get stressed out as much. But yeah, in the background, if I can play music, I love music, and crank it up in the car, roll the windows down, crank it up, and just drive.
I'm going out of town next weekend, and I'm planning on just playing music, and I don't know exactly. Sometimes I like to stick with a certain artist while I'm gone for some weird reason, like just listen to all their.
Yeah, I get in those spells too.
Yeah,
I get those spells
just stay
too.
with that the whole weekend.
Greg Allman, I think I may have mentioned to us before. Greg Allman, the Allman Brothers. When Dwayne died, and Dickie Betts and all those guys, not Dickie Betts, but the bass player. But anyway, when they died, they still played. But when the band finally broke up and Greg went out on his own, I think Greg did a much better job on his own, and I could sit and listen to his music with him playing and singing more than I could the Allman Brothers because he was so good.
One time I went to Florida and I took 2 albums, and you would not believe how complimentary these are. But it was John Denver and Elton John. They have a lot of, people think I'm crazy, but there's a lot of similarities between their voices and maybe even their age. I don't know. I guess they were around about the same time, but.
Well, I think there was a certain point in time when all the music didn't sound alike, but had a very similarity to all the music people were playing. And even writers today, and I've got a friend of mine I've written with down in Monticello, Georgia, and he'll tell me, so one of the biggest things a writer gets into, he gets locked into, is all of his songs begin to sound alike. And I see that if I don't stop and change something. Even my grandchildren tell me that. They say, G, they call me G. G, you need to change your beat.
Well, you can't change it and stay in the same genre. The only person that really could do that is Miley Cyrus. She seems to be able to change types of songs.
Yeah. Well, she had the help of Disney and all those other places.
But doesn't she live in Tennessee?
Oh yeah, she's up there. Matter of fact, I think she is Dolly Parton's godchild or something.
Yeah, but I think she lives in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah.
Wonder where.
Her dad, Billy Joe.
Yeah, Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean, Achy Breaky Heart. Come on, that was
huge.
Yeah, huge, and it was just really nothing to it.
Nothing to it. But boy, he had it going on.
And he didn't need but one. That's all
right.
it took.
He had 2 songs, didn't he?
Yeah, but that one
2
was the
big
one that made
hits.
them a big one. Yeah. So.
You need to come up with one of those.
I do.
That's all
I really
it takes.
do.
Because if that hadn't happened, she wouldn't have been where if it wasn't for that song and his mullet.
Yep.
She wouldn't be where she's at, and he would. It's just one song.
Yeah. I'm hoping Solo Dos Galas is that song. That's the one I'm banking on to be in. And you know what? It right out of the chute, that song won an award. Within 2 weeks after I had it recorded, I sent it to a Australian Song Contest, and it won Best Song World Artist. I mean, 2 weeks. And so I knew right then there had to be something to it.
Now, have you signed with a record company or what now?
Yeah, Big Records is not a record company that will take my songs and cut them and do that, but they're a promotions type company. They're called Big Record. And they've got all of these different people in different areas of the business that can do websites, that can do promotions, bookings. They can do all kinds of things.
So they're going to promote her in a sense.
Right, they're promoting me worldwide, and they've got avenues to get me into that I know nothing about, and which is great because that's the type of company they are.
Yeah.
And so I'm banking on
That's what
big
they
things.
do.
Exactly. And they're based out of Canada. So they got some great musicians in Canada, as we know.
Well, they do. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, Ann Murray was one of my favorites.
Wasn't the guy from Molly Hatchet from Canada?
I think so. But there's a lot of great people have come out of Canada. You know, just singer-songwriters, independents. As I said, Gordon Lightfoot, Ann Murray. Just go on.
It's one tough business, isn't
It's a tough business, but I'm enjoying the heck out of it. It stresses me out sometimes, but...
well, don't get discouraged. Since the last time you were here, these are the awards. I mean, look at that. We don't have any dummies on this show. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Dee.
I really
appreciate
enjoyed
it.
you coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.